The leak for Chapter 27 will be out in a few hours, and as Boruto addicts, we're definitely always excited to wait for each new chapter. But for today, I have some predictions that I'm sure will be very exciting. I'm Nim without an E. Please help me boost the algorithm by liking this video. Thank you guys. So yeah, first and foremost, to predict Chapter 27, what about the cover, right? Although it's not that important, I believe the cover is representative of the story's content. Because even though in Chapter 26 we got a momoshiki cover, he himself wasn't in the manga, which is precisely what makes it interesting. I mean, even though Momoshiki is on the cover, there isn't a single panel showing his presence or what he will do. But at least it has sparked so much speculation and curiosity about what actually happened to Boruto. Especially with the pose, I'm sure many fans think that Boruto and Momoshiki have merged, but whatever your perspective on Boruto's pose, which some interpret as Momoshiki, it's not a big deal and it's okay. And yeah, initial predictions start from the cover, and these are at least 4 characters who will be very relevant to fill the cover in Chapter 27. First and foremost is Damon, second is Mamushi, third is Eida, and fourth is the one and only Code. Yeah, that's how it is. First, Damon, and yeah, why did I choose Damon? It's not just about his fight with Sarada, but even if that does happen, I mean, we all agree that there will be too many scenarios that will thwart the intention to kill Damon after Sarada and Sumire's lies are exposed if the two of them are actually completely unaffected by Aida's charm, right? But the reason why Damon is so relevant to be the cover is the proof of his unreasonable strength, his speed and reflexes. At this point, he seems to already know about Sarada's eye ability. Therefore, Damon appears so confident that his abilities are superior to Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan, especially with the statement that the eyes would be useless if Sarada died before she could actually use them. This proves that Damon has obtained enough information to handle the eyes. Logically, it is impossible for Damon to say something like that if he did not have enough information about the eyes. Is that right? Therefore, making Damon the cover will definitely give us something new and interesting, or clues about his abilities even deeper. Second, Mamushi. Aside from the fact that he is the only Divine Tree human who has never been chosen as a cover after the time skip, I'm honestly curious about Koji's statement about 1 week from now. I mean, in Chapter 26, Koji said that 1 week from then, Mamushi would move to prey on his target, Eida. But what makes me curious is, how do we actually determine that 1 week? Yeah, you know what I mean, right? So that means if Chapter 27 will reveal Mamushi's move to target Eida, then this is the right time. Besides that, what really makes us curious are the 2 entities that are with Mamushi when he comes to Konoha, based on Koji's Jippo prediction. In that prediction, I feel that Mamushi doesn't come alone, but there are other entities that are most likely not Hidari or Jura. But what do you guys think? And that means choosing Mamushi as the cover, this will definitely be his debut to fill the position as the cover after the other Shinju. Third is Eida, and honestly I didn't choose Eida randomly. I have my reasons. If you look at the last scene in Chapter 26, aside from Damon's role, I'm sure we all agree that at that point, Eida's role was the most decisive, right? I mean, choosing Eida as the cover will certainly be related to the wild speculation about Sarada and Sumire. Because of course, the fandom has so many reasons why Sarada and Sumire could be completely unaffected by Eida's abilities. So that means it makes perfect sense for Chapter 27 to reveal the biggest reason for Sarada and Sumire. Because in reality, Eida wouldn't be so cruel as to let Damon kill her, especially with Sumire and Sarada's plot armor. But for sure, this seems like the perfect timing to delve deeper into the relationship between Sarada and Sumire. What interrogation will Eida conduct, and what are the reasons for Sumire and Sarada to truly manipulate Eida's accusations against them? Finally, the one and only Code. Yeah, we never get tired of predicting Code's next move, but since this isn't the first time, it's only natural that Chapter 27 will delay the revelation of Mamushi's movements or the continuation between Sarada and the demon. Now is Code's time. And for the next prediction, it's Konohamaru's interrogation. After Koji's scenario saved Shikamaru by letting Konohamaru say what he should have said to the Konoha elders, this became something very beneficial for Shikamaru himself. Even though he himself is fed up with his position as Hokage and intends to resign, Koji will certainly not let that happen. And that means Konohamaru's interrogation should, and at least will, be a bright spot for Boruto. if the Konoha elders and others have a sufficiently rational and open mind. I mean, we know that Boruto has been accused of some very cruel charges. Even though Boruto has done his best for Konoha, including saving several Konoha ninja, the Konoha elders suspect that it was Boruto's plan to destroy Konoha from within, especially regarding Boruto's knowledge of the biology of the god tree itself. But at that point, Konohamaru indirectly defended Boruto, saying that it was an exaggeration. However, because of his defense, Konohamaru ended up in serious trouble. This means that with all the good things Boruto has done for Konoha, Konohamaru's interrogation of Boruto should have been a good thing for Boruto himself. But I'm sure Ikemoto won't let the conflict end that easily. That means no matter how many ninja are interrogated, and no matter how many ninja defend Boruto, it will all be considered nonsense in front of the Konoha elders. The Konoha elders are basically representatives of the stubborn boomer generation, but it should be noted that this is not 100% true. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? However, if the context is that Lord Kobu will investigate the incident of Boruto's escape in the interrogation arc, then surely and definitely some ninjas such as Kawaki, Mitsuki, and even Shikamaru will be on the list of suspects. Or more precisely, traitors. But the big question is, what method will they use? Will they investigate the memories through the Yamanaka clan? If it's true that the ones investigating the memories of several shinobi identified as being affiliated with Boruto, specifically Shikamaru and Ino, are the ninjas who will probe their minds, then it's almost certain that Shikamaru will pass this inspection. After all, the reason Kashin Koji asked Inojin for help is because he wants Inojin to speak to his mother. He'll ask her not to reveal Shikamaru and Boruto's secret. Inojin will try to convince his mother that if Shikamaru is no longer the Hokage, the Hidden Leaf Village will be in danger. They still need Shikamaru to prevent the worst possible future from happening in Konoha. After hearing such a request from her own son, Ino would definitely take it into consideration. Because as you know, Ino has firmly refused to let Shikamaru break village rules, including secretly communicating with Boruto. However, if the request to keep this secret comes directly from Inojin, there's a high chance that Ino will agree and help them all. And that is, at the very least, a brief prediction or scenario if Shikamaru really does end up being interrogated using the Yamanaka clan's method. But the question remains, what method will the Konoha elders use? Because if a simple interrogation like the one Konoha conducted on Boruto doesn't satisfy them, it seems reasonable that the next interrogation, starting with Konohamaru, will use the Yamanaka clan's method to uncover their thoughts and memories, right? However, if the context is only predictions, honestly, there are still many exciting things for us to predict. But I'm just afraid that if there are too many, it will become nonsense. Because it is certain that in one chapter, not so many scenarios and conflicts will be revealed. So yeah, that's how it is. But if you have other predictions for Chapter 27, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, like and subs. I'm Nim without the E. See you in Boruto Chapter 27 leaks. Bye bye, Data Bio.